I saw myself as an artist, even though my dad did. Like, he would always be like, why don't you just sing these songs? You sound great singing them. But I would always argue with him, like, no, I don't do that. I write them. Someone else sings them. But when I went up there to sing Stand By Me, I swear to God, he was like on my shoulders like a little kid. And I got so addicted to that feeling again. Like, because he was there. He showed up. And I truly believe he showed up at Bridgestone at the CMAs. Like, he did. He showed up that night. And
I bet he was so proud of you. Do you feel like he's proud of you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was so proud of me before he died, before any of this happened, and I think he would be very proud. I've been trying to make him proud my whole life, but
what did he said? Write a song for me or make us? What did he say? Sorry,
write a
I'm
good song
leaking over here.
No, man, I leak all the time.
Yeah, dude, I listen to stuff that makes me cry all the time because I think I'm just full of tears and I got to get these bitches out, even though I'm dehydrated half the time. So I'm like, I don't even know what's going on here, dude.
No, it's good for you. Like, when my dad died, I swear all I did was cry for 2 years. It's all I did. And
you got to
lately,
get it out.
If you can find the tears, find them. Like right now, I can't find them.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I get emotional, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, sometimes you have tears and sometimes you don't. It's like almost like seasons, you know? It's almost like an ocean. Sometimes it comes up on the shore and sometimes it's out to sea, you know, even though it's, you know, it lives
it's a tide.
Yeah. So it's like, and especially I think people that have had like a lot of things in their life that have happened that haven't been processed, you know, it takes a long time. And I think I've gotten grateful in my life over time where if I find something that helps me process, I'll sit there and process it. My brother says a lot of times, he's like, yeah, getting rid of grief and like trauma, like that old stuff. And people use trauma as a buzzword, but getting rid of grief and stuff from the past, he's like, it's like taking pennies out of a bathtub one at a time. He's like, you know, it takes a long time and it's slow and it's just kind of arduous work. But you just be grateful that it can kind of happen over time. What he said, make a good song for me.
Write a good song for me.
Write a good song for me.
Yeah, because he knew that's all I could think about. And
that's the baton, man. That's the baton.
Yeah, he used to come to all my shows. When I say shows, like playing for 7 people at Writers Round. Or and he came to the Bluebird Cafe. I remember had his you remember when they had those giant phones that were like the size of laptops, you know? But,
those T-Mobile sidekicks? Yeah, baby, them bitches was beautiful.
Yeah, he had one of those bad boys, and he would just hold it up and record the whole show. He used to drive me crazy. And
dude, there's nothing crazier than watching like a boomer kind of like record something, or even just somebody from a generation above. We went to the UFC fights the other day, and some guy was recorded every single fight. I'm like, he had a front row seat. And he was recording, and there was a TV right next to him playing the fights. I'm like, you can just go home and watch. Like, I just didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was there and that he cared so much about it and that he loved watching you do it.
Yeah, there was this one song that's on the record called "I'm a Song." And he watched me play that for the first time at Bluebird Cafe. I'd just written it like that week.
Right over here?
Yeah, Bluebird Cafe, and he had his gigantic phone. I'll never forget. And I was like, Dad, please put your phone down. But he recorded that whole song, and then he called me a week later, kept talking about that song. And about a month before he died, it was Father's Day weekend, I came up to see him. And we went to a tractor pull, and then we went home and watched some fights. And he goes, hey, Steven, you know that song you played at the Bluebird like a month ago? It's called "I'm a Song." And I was like, well, how do you even know that? Like, I because I was in that point of like writing, 200 songs a year. I was writing, 10 songs a week. So like a month ago, like that, "I'm a Song" was like 50 songs ago. So I was like, oh, yeah, I know that. And he's like, yeah, you played at the Bluebird Cafe. And he's like, that's my favorite song. And I was like, oh, thank you, Dad. And like, I thought he meant like, it's my favorite song, his favorite song of mine. And he was like, no, listen to me. That's my favorite song ever.
Wow.
And I was like, how are you even listening to it? He'd been listening to me play it on the Bluebird on his gigantic T-Mobile, whatever that thing is, and that's how he was actually my first fan, and he was the he would breathe so much life into me. He believed in me so much more than I ever believed in myself, and I remember him saying, "You should sing that song," and when he died, I sang it at his funeral.
Oh,
and it was one of the hardest songs I've ever sang. But in that moment, like that was when I knew things were about to change, and but yeah, and that song has helped so many people, and it's I don't know, it's been a bit of a thesis statement for me. And so when he said write a good song for me, he knew I had already written one, at least in his eyes, because it was his favorite song ever. So he knew, at least he had proof on his phone that I was capable of writing something great. And I guess his last charge was to please keep going and don't stop. And as
it's got to feel good for him to be like, even in a moment, like, I mean, that's crazy to say this. What am I talking about? But in a moment of leaving the earth, to know that you have a son or someone who you've created that's capable. You have a child that you believe is capable. I wonder what, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that?
No, and my other siblings are also very capable. He's very proud of all of us equally, but I think he knew something about me was different very young. I was a very quiet kid, a very nerdy kid. I had his name and his eyes, but outside of that, we were so different. So I think he just knew I was going to do something different. He's
probably intrigued, I bet.
Yeah. And I like picked up guitar and taught myself, and he was like just always mesmerized by like my musical ability, because it seemed like magic to him, because it was God-given. Nobody taught me how to do this.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you just picked it up and started playing?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I learned some tablature but I sucked real bad then. But that was
this is you right here?
Yeah, that was probably like a week after I got my first guitar, and if that even.
Let me see
a couple
some of
days.
this.
Then we're watching Mama's Family. Yep. Yeah, that's Lithium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that your dad now?
No,
this
that
is a
was
music
just
video.
some random old dude, and this is after my dad had passed away. Like none of this stuff, like on my whole music, I didn't have any music out when he was alive.
Oh, okay. So they're just packaging this all up.
Yeah, this is all like old VHS footage from when I was a kid. That's me getting my first guitar for my 16th birthday, even though I look like I'm 12.
Look how hot. Look, go back. Look, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Right. A little more. Right there. Look how happy. You can see, though, how happy and cool.
Hands through the hair,
You can see for a second. See if you can catch his face a second earlier, maybe a second later.
It was
You can see how
joy.
right there.
Oh,
you can just see how
man.
happy he is, That's cool, dude.
Thank you.
I'm going to be cool now.
No,
Oh, it's so fun, dude.
I might actually have, I might actually be able to talk to a girl now.
Oh, dude. Yeah. At least if you walk up with a guitar, at least you're fucking just like, hey, at least then they'll be like, hey, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? At least you have some sort of semblance instead of hiding, putting hair in your eyes and hiding behind it.
That's what I did. I said nothing to nobody.
Oh, dude. That was most of my childhood when I was growing up. I was thinking about, what are the responsibilities of a son? People don't think about that a lot. I think about, what do my parents owe me a lot as a kid, or I have probably, like my parents didn't do this or my parents didn't do that. That's been, or some things didn't happen and should have happened. That's fair. But when I start to harp on the other stuff and it gets into this like, oh, woe is me or pity me type of thing, that can be kind of a unsafe area to go into. But the two can be easily connected, like things that, yes, a parent should do these things, or those things should be, a child's life should include these things, and they don't happen. And then, well, a parent, they don't owe you these things, but attaching those together. But I never think about like, what are my responsibilities as a son, or as a child? You know what I'm saying? You don't think that, because at a certain point you do have some responsibility in it yourself, Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of thought about that, and you know, I grew up thinking the same thing as you, like maybe, things should have been different but at the same time, I tend to think about my parents as children because